Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss an interesting essay on the social media platform Facebook. The title of the essay is Facebook is Making Us Miserable. This essay is prescribed for the S3 Bcom students language course paper in the University of Kerala. So let's get into the essay. The essay is written by Daniel Gulati. He is a New York-based tech entrepreneur, and he is one of the co-authors of the book Passion and Purpose: Stories from the Best and Brightest Young Business Leaders, published in 2011. He has been awarded the Robert F. Jassy Distinguished Award in Entrepreneurship and Leadership from Harvard Business School. This essay actually appeared as a blog post in Harvard Business Review on December 9, 2011. The essay begins with the foundation and mission of Facebook. When Facebook was founded in 2004, it began with a seemingly innocuous mission, that is, to connect friends. 7 years later, when Gulati was writing this essay, it has reached 800 million users and has become the dominant communication platform. Gulati observes that there is a dark side to it. Facebook and social media are major contributors to career anxiety. It is actually making us miserable. He speaks about hypersharing, Facebook's explosive rate of growth and recent product releases such as the new sticker, top stories on the newsfeed, and larger photos have all been focused on one goal, that is, encouraging more sharing. This hyper-sharing is threatening our sense of happiness. He then shares his experiences in his research on writing his book Passion and Purpose. He observes how Facebook was impacting the lives of hundreds of young business people. He says, behind all the liking, commenting, sharing, and posting, there were strong hints of jealousy, anxiety, and in one case, depression. He observes there are dangerous byproducts of Facebook's rapid ascension. There are three new distressing ways in which the social media giant fundamentally alters our daily sense of well-being. First, it's creating a den of comparison. Since Facebook profiles are self-curated, the users have a strong bias toward sharing positive milestones and avoid mentioning the more humdrum negative parts of their lives. It creates an online culture of competition and comparison. Comparing ourselves to others is a key driver of unhappiness. That is what Daniel Gulati says. He also quotes Tom DeLonge, author of Flying Without a Net, who describes a comparing trap. DeLonge writes, no matter how successful we are and how many goals we achieve, this trap causes us to recalibrate our accomplishments and reset the bar for how we define our success. That is, we judge the entirety of our own lives against the top 1% of our friends' lives. We are thus setting impossible standards for ourselves, making us more miserable than ever. Secondly, he says it is fragmenting our time. Facebook's horizontal strategy encourages users to log in more frequently from different devices. For example, if we are at office, we can access Facebook from office. If we are at home, we can use iPads. And if we are at a shopping complex, think of it, we can use it with our smartphones. This means that hundreds of millions of people are less present where they are. He recounts the experience of one interviewee. That is, he says, I almost got hit by a car while using Facebook crossing the street. So, apart from this risk of real physical harm, there is the issue with this constant tabbing between real life tasks and Facebook, which is called switching cost. That is the loss in productivity associated with changing from one task to another. He then speaks about Dr. Sri Kumar Rao, who attributes mindfulness over multitasking as one of his 10 steps to happiness at work. He argues that constant distractions lead to late and poor quality output, which negatively impacts our sense of self worth. Lastly, there is a decline of close relationships. Gulati observes that gone are the days where Facebook merely complemented our real life relationships. Now, Facebook is actually winning share of our core offline interactions. That is, people find it easier to have an FB chat rather than having a get together. So, as Facebook adds new features such as video chat, it is fast becoming a viable substitute for meetings, relationship building, and even family get togethers. People miss opportunities to interact more deeply than Facebook could ever accommodate. It is true that the richness of communication is lost. When two people come together, uh, in a restaurant over a cup of tea, the communication that they have is entirely different from what they have over a social media. So, as Facebook continues to add new features to help us connect more efficiently online, the battle to maintain offline relationships will become even more difficult. Facebook is negatively affecting what psychology professor Jeffrey Parker refers to as the closeness properties of friendship. So, what should we do to avoid these three traps? Gulati says that it is unrealistic to quit Facebook altogether. Quitting is not an option. We can take measures to alter our usage patterns and strengthen our real world relationships. He suggests some useful tactics that include blocking out designated time for Facebook rather than visiting intermittently throughout the day. Then selectively trimming Facebook friends list to avoid undesirable ex-partners and gossipy co-workers. We have to invest more time in building offline relationships. And finally, he says that the particularly courageous choose to delete Facebook from their smartphones and iPads and log off the platform entirely for long stretches of time. So, this is how Daniel Gulati has conceived his essay on how Facebook makes our life miserable. I hope you all enjoyed the essay. Thank you so much. Stay safe.